Stephanie.
Stephanie, what a terrible name! Stephanie!
If you saw how it's spelled, you're going to hate it even more.
Is it F-A-N-I?
Yeah.
Oh! Welcome to Fresh Out. I'm Cude.
I'm JC.
And we're fresh out of Final Destination. Bloodlines.
Final Destination Bloodlines brings us a new chapter for this iconic horror franchise after more than a decade of anticipation. Can this family tree survive death? So, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Hey, the 6th installment, right? It's been, I think, what?
14 years,
14 years. Okay.
Since the last one.
So, what'd you think?
We'll put a correction on the screen if we're wrong about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been 14 years, man. Audiences have been clamoring for a new Final Destination. Dude, clamoring, bro? I'm bringing out a thesaurus on this one. Yo, but we have been waiting for a new... Final Destination in its own right is a classic genre. It's kind of like you have a Saw type of movie.
Yes.
You have a monster, Freddy Krueger, Jason type of movie. And then you have a Final Destination type of movie. This is its own thing.
It's its own kind of genre in a way. Yep. Like you got Scary Movie, you got Saw, and it's somewhere in between, right?
And it always starts with an epic opening set piece where you see people die in the most horrific, terrible ways, and then it builds on that throughout the movie.
Flashback, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a premonition.
Exactly.
You're taken, and they're like, "Oh my God!
Yep.
Everybody get off the plane! Everybody get off the train!"
Spoiler alert! No, it's like for movies that are 15 years old.
Yeah.
25 years old is the first one.
Yeah, 25.
Came out in 2000.
2000, the first crazy, Final Destination.
Bro. So I'm not even going to date myself by saying what grade I was in 2000. But
let's get into this one.
Well, that's the thing about Final Destination, the historical significance. When Final Destination #1 came out 25 years ago,
it was a big deal.
Dude, it was a huge deal because that opening plane scene changed people's lives.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people watched that movie and then was thinking about the next plane they were on.
Absolutely.
They were like, "Yo, is this about to be on some crazy Final Destination stuff?"
And I think
it changed your way of thinking about things. Dude.
Yes. I think these movies really they take you to this place where sometimes the deaths are so outrageous that you're like, there's no
all of
way.
the deaths. No, all of the deaths are outrageous.
They are. But
every single death in this is outrageous.
Well, so I would say about this film, maybe a little less outrageous. Maybe where you...
Nah, they're pretty outrageous,
you don't think
bro.
So?
Nah, they're pretty outrageous in this one too, dog.
The situations that people have put themselves into make it seem like it can actually happen, but the outrageousness of all of the dominoes falling into place, yes.
Well, reality is stranger than fiction in a lot of ways, and I think that may be the major pull of these movies is, yo, I guarantee, when you watch a Final Destination movie, you're like, yo, somebody's probably died from getting crushed by that.
That's what I mean.
Or somebody's probably died from getting sucked into this.
Yeah.
Or somebody's probably died from, so you're thinking about all the different people.
But
yeah.
It may
be a thing. It may be a thing.
Ways to Die.
Now this one,
all those
this movie is kind of whatever. So okay, let's start. We start with Stephanie. Well, we don't start with Stephanie. We start with Stephanie's grandmother, who I can't remember her name. Iris. Okay, she goes to this this new restaurant that is really, it's in
I think it's in the 50s.
Yeah, it's like the 50s or 60s or something.
It's a generational thing where...
So it's like if you think about the Space Needle in Seattle, maybe we can find a picture of that.
Or have you seen the movie Skyscraper? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? It's this big...
It's the same thing?
Yeah,
it's
similar
the same
thing.
type of thing?
It's just very high up,
So this reminds me of the Seattle Space Needle, where it just goes very slim all the way to the top and then opens up, and then it's like another thing, right?
Yeah.
And so basically they're going to this fancy dinner. They're in there. They're on the list. They're getting in. And then all these different things happen for the first opening death scene. Like, literally, everybody dies.
There always has to be that, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a Final Destination movie if there wasn't that. And
Everybody dies.
it has to be epic, and
then it does the flashback thing, like you were saying earlier. It does the flashback thing after everybody dies horrendously, does the flashback thing, and then we start over, and then Iris saves everybody from dying.
Yes.
So then over the years, death has come for each of these people in order of how they were supposed to die. But see, what's so weird about this is people die every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People die from
But to your point,
diseases.
horrendously though.
Now, see, that's the weird thing, right? Because people die every day from like freak stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the main character of Final Destination 1, the guy who saved everybody from the plane crash.
Yeah, Devon Sawa, I think is his name.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes. You are on it.
Hey,
dude.
there we go.
And so he doesn't die in the movies. He dies off screen when they look him up in a later movie. They look him up online and they're like, oh, a brick fell from a building and killed him.
Some freak
accident. Like
he
has the weakest freak accident out of all of these, because Final Destination has the most elaborate deaths ever, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And so basically, we're back to Stephanie, who is the granddaughter of Iris. And now the bloodline is cursed because none of them were supposed to exist. Because Iris was supposed to die. But she went on to have kids, and then their kids had kids, or whatever the case.
I like this kind of new take on it, because logically it makes sense, right? You have this one person who was not supposed to live.
She's the catalyst of death.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like, your family tree is just, they're all done.
She's the catalyst of the curse.
And they always go down the list, so it's like, as long as you're able to survive, you're going to be okay for the rest of your family. But if you don't, then basically it opens you up to a whole nother list of problems.
So basically, Iris has been hiding in this cabin in the middle of nowhere with like, it's so funny too, because she has like spikes in the ground. She has like, it looks like you're entering Game of Thrones castle or something,
absolutely.
right? And it's this one little cabin in the woods. And I'm like, is she gonna kill death with the spikes?
Right?
Like,
I was wondering that too.
Like
you're actually
she has like barbed wire fences up.
I was like, you're almost setting yourself up to somehow freak out.
Yeah, right. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking the same thing. That's
so this movie is about Stephanie, who is Iris's granddaughter, saving her family members that shouldn't exist from death. And we all know that this does not go to plan.
Of course.
And so basically, the deaths in this movie...
The deaths in this movie, man.
The deaths in this movie made me realize one thing.
All right.
It made me realize that there are no building regulations on anything in any of these movies. Because if you notice, anytime death is using things, like on the first scene of this movie, like bolts are just busting out of the framework. Like, this is shoddy workmanship. In every single movie, it's something buckling, or the door got slammed too hard, so now the hinge messes up. It's always bad carpentry or it always goes back to dude.
That's so funny.
Dude, every single death is somebody closing a door too hard, or or slamming their hand too hard on something, and then it unloosens a bolt. Like, everything in this movie is just like IKEA furniture, or like, bro, every single death comes from bad workmanship.
That's such a good
dude.
point, and I feel like in this movie specifically, they allude to that. They give you the breadcrumbs. They're like, yeah, this project actually got done 5 months earlier.
Dude, they did say that.
Is that a good thing?
They did say that, dude. They did say that.
I was like, so they're dead. They're
done.
Right
and
when they said that, I was like,
and
okay.
she brings it up. Iris, the grandmother, brings it up. She's like, that's not a good thing, is it?
Yeah, right? She's
you know what I mean?
Getting in the elevator.
And so go back and watch every single Final Destination movie. there will be
Shoddy work. Left and right.
yes, most of the deaths come from shoddy work, dude.
That's so
this
true.
movie is propaganda.
Yeah,
This movie is propaganda by one political party that wants more regulations on building things, dude. Because the whole time I'm cracking up in the movie watching this, and I'm just like, yo. Everything's messing up because a nut was not screwed in properly.
Exactly.
Or a bolt
all it took was somebody dancing a little too hard for it to boom, boom,
all
boom.
All it took was one little piece of glass to crack a floor. Like,
oh
bro,
my God, I know.
this Final Destination movies are propaganda for people that want regulations and building code.
He's not wrong.
That's it, dude.
Cude
it.
He's speaking the truth.
That is it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was laughing the whole movie, not only from the acting, which is so silly, but especially from the lead character, Stephanie.
Stephanie, yeah, she...
Good old Steph. But, yeah, dude, it's so funny. When I thought about that, I was like, dude, these movies would not be anything if people... Just actually, if there was more regulations in building code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if the building inspectors actually went
and... It's a political film? We just
didn't
know,
it's propaganda, dude.
Yeah.
This movie was made by a certain political party that wants to get their they're pounding their message into us over 25 years.
Yeah.
The airplane crashing. That was probably like, I got to go back and watch it, but I guarantee it's like a little screw or something falls out. And it's always like screws and stuff like that. It's always little stuff that kills everybody.
It does. Because, you know what?
It snowballs.
Yeah. I feel like these horror films, it's like, if which the characters will make some mistakes, but they're like, if the character won't make a mistake, then we're gonna make sure their setting is actually the thing that
that kills them.
Yeah.
Death is lazy,
there was a
bro.
magnifying glass through this window that burned this thing. So that's why
Death is lazy.
But that's actually what I like about it.
Death just uses things, right? And he's just like, yo, that screw is loose anyway. I'll just use that. We'll start it out with that screw.
Let me just loosen that up a little bit.
Dude,
okay, so actually on
crazy.
That point, so for me, my personal favorite, I love this movie, but I just have an affinity for Final Destination 3, if there's any Final Destination fans. The main one is
3 was the roller coaster?
Yeah, the roller coaster was the intro, and then there was this one where it was a tanning bed where these two chicks.
And she just burns to death in there, dude.
Say what? And there's
yeah. So I saw clips of that.
Yeah. Like a random, I think it's like a broom or something locks it, and they're stuck in there. Like it was just something like so easily,
Exactly, dude. There shouldn't have been a broom in that room anyway.
Yeah.
This is what it is. The deaths all come from negligence.
Yes, absolutely.
These are all negligent deaths.
It's a horror movie. They have to make some mistakes.
But no. But it's not the lead. It's not the characters that are dying's fault. It's the worker that left the broom. It's the worker that left the broom in the tanning room.
Yeah.
That broom should be in the work closet, dude. In the broom closet, dog.
No, Death brought it in there. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, it's negligence of workers. That's what this movie is. Okay, so.
But also, one last thing about specifically about Final Destination 3 was the DVD version of it. You could choose whether they lived or died.
What?
They'd be like, what if they
so
survived
cool.
this? What would happen if they survived this scenario? They might die again.
That's what I miss about DVDs, dude.
It was next level. So I would hope and I hope because let's stay true to the franchise. If this comes out on DVD, right, and they do that...
they don't do that anymore because Blu-rays don't have that type of interactivity anymore.
Man,
dang, dude, you just reminded me of
the interactivity.
Dude, that's so crazy. So
that's why I love it so much.
Netflix, you have the green light. Make a Bandersnatch, but just about people surviving.
Bandersnatch, dude. That's exactly
just about people surviving though.
Yeah.
So you get to choose. It's like a choose your own adventure game, like Until Dawn.
Yeah.
But then you get to Bandersnatch. Dude.
I know,
Netflix,
right?
do it.
They have to, please.
Dude, that would be so good.
Whoever gets it,
That would be so good. And then make it like a teenage camp drama
I feel
or
like
something.
then you're really gonna
where
bring
it's a
in
killer.
audiences.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so good, dude.
Anyways, I don't want to sidetrack us.
Final
but
Destination needs to be done like that.
I know.
That would
I
make
know.
Final Destination so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, groundbreaking, dude.
Yeah.
You need to be the director in the next one.
Let's go.
Come
I'm ready.
on.
I'm ready.
We're good.
All
JC,
right.
you're
Well,
the director.
So
All right, so boom. Oh, a main thing of this, other than the deaths,
Yeah.
they finally gave a backstory to
Yes.
the death guy, Tony Todd.
Tony Todd,
character.
and it's actually his last performance in a film.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
And so, basically, Tony Todd is not death, and that's not a spoiler. It's not. He's not death.
No,
I think he was called the Devil. Like if you look up
there's
other
a couple
things.
different. Like I think his Bloodsworth is his last name.
Bloodsworth.
William Bloodsworth.
Yeah,
I
William
think.
Bloodsworth. Yeah. But he was like known as the Devil or something in
yes,
some.
yeah, I feel like-
if you look up the cast name or whatever.
I think in.
So he was
the third or
always a
fourth
part of what Death had in design, but this movie gives a backstory to why that is.
Yep.
I thought it was stupid. Okay, so check it.
To keep the mysticism.
So
I
check
get
it.
yeah.
This movie's stupid. It has stupid. It has stupid acting. It has stupid storyline. It has stupid deaths. And that's what you pay to go see.
That's what we love about
That's
it.
what you are watching a Final Destination. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's
the
not
best
only
way.
negligent, but it's stupid, right? And so as long as you can get past that, as long as you go into this movie like thinking like, yo, this is a Final Destination movie, this is gonna be
You'll
a
be
good
great.
movie.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a good movie.
Yeah. I feel like most people know that too. Like.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. If
They
they
should.
haven't,
This
then
is not a critical movie.
And I feel like if this is their first introduction to it, I think they'll be fine. I don't think anybody's going into this movie taking it too seriously.
Well, this can't be the first introduction to a final. Nobody's gonna go see this as the first.
Or maybe are they not old enough? Maybe
unless
I was
they're
gonna
like
say some Gen
toddlers.
Zs,
Unless
yeah.
I'm bringing in like
Yeah.
some toddler that I don't know that I have back in Atlanta.
Well,
You never know, dude.
never know.
I've been here for what,
Gotta teach 'em
14
young.
years? I've been in California for 14 years, man. I may have a 14-year-old back in Atlanta,
Anyways.
dude. Anyway, I don't.
Yeah.
That's my Final Destination. That's when things start
No.
happening. When I find out I have a kid. Screws just start getting loosened and just like my door doesn't open when I'm parked on a railroad track but anyway,
This comes back to the railroad track. All right. So let's hit the ratings. I think we're at that point.
We're scoring it.
What do you think? You want me to kick it off? You want it?
Yeah, you kick it off.
All right.
dude. You kick it off.
So, for all the reasons we talked about, I went back and forth. It's just going to be a high rating because you know what? Comparatively, right, at these other Final Destination films, they have all these creative deaths, but you know maybe it's just because I haven't seen it in a while, or maybe it's just because of the body count. I would say it was just boom, boom.
So
boom,
there was like
boom.
7 people in this one, not counting the people that died.
Yeah,
in
like
the
just
thing.
exactly. That's
But
true.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
But I felt like the pace was great.
Yeah.
And
For a 2-hour movie,
for a 2-hour
it flew
movie,
by.
for a 2-hour
For a
movie,
2-hour movie,
it flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think they got pretty creative. There's got to be a little bit of stupidity to make this thing work because, right?
The penny.
Yeah. Oh my God. The infamous penny just rolling around and causing some mischief. You guys will know what we mean when you watch it.
Oh God!
So that
Spoiler
said,
alert.
That said,
penny.
This is going to be a high number, but I'm saying a high 8. Almost 9, I would say, but
Okay.
I'm going to give it an 8 because
Okay.
we're sticking to whole numbers.
Yeah.
Mid to high 8. And yeah, man, I stand by that.
So
what do you think?
yes. So what I'm going to say is, I always compare movies to other movies, especially if it's a series of movies. I've only seen Final Destination 1 and 2, right?
Okay.
Theatrically.
Yep.
And then the others, I've just seen the death scenes. I only watch like death scenes on YouTube
true.
or
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm with
so
you
I
on
know
that.
about the roller coaster one. I know about the bridge one. I know
like
about
Final
the
Destination
different.
5, yeah.
Yeah. I know about the different major deaths or whatever from the other ones.
Yep.
And comparatively, this movie is up there, dude. This is up
Yeah.
there with 1 or 2. Which I guess 1 or 2 would be the tops of the series.
Yeah, I agree.
This
Or
movie
for
is
me,
up
3,
there.
but
Yeah, but this movie's up there.
Yeah.
This movie is up there in the tops of those because, like, outside of the main chick, Stephanie character or whatever, I just was not vibing with her, and that may just be this movie gives no time to grieve for the characters.
That's true.
In between each death, so it's just like
They're just packing
they're going,
it in.
dude. And these deaths are so traumatic. This isn't like
they're so
this
dramatic.
isn't, dude. This isn't like one of those movies where this isn't like real life where like your cousin dies of cancer over like a year.
Yeah.
You know
Or
what I
like
mean?
some
Where you visit them throughout
even
the
a random
year.
freak accident would not
dies in a
compare
car
to this
crash
thing.
or
Those
something.
are normal freak accidents.
Right. This movie has such freak accidents that the people actually see.
Yeah.
That it's just like, dang, like they're unfazed. They're just like
you scream.
they're
pretty
still
loud,
joking
but then all of
around.
a sudden,
like they're still characters are still joking around and just like.
Yeah, that's so
So
true.
I got to take 1 point off just for the acting and just the characters
Kinda
not
tone,
being.
yeah.
The tone was just kind of like. I feel like in the first couple of movies, people were at least affected a little bit more.
You're like distraught.
Yeah, like this
That's-
movie, they were
actually,
just
that's
like.
a really good point.
I just saw my uncle get like his face chopped off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
But you know what?
You know what? On with the mission.
Make sure we gotta look at the list.
We're
Yeah.
still joking and cracking jokes. Yeah, my dad just died in front of me. But I'm cracking jokes the next day. Like, so aside from the acting and just the dialogue just being so laughable at times, I'm gonna give this movie.
Do 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 do.
I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it the
There
same
we go.
score. This was a great movie. I was laughing the whole time.
I was too.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. I was laughing the whole time. I enjoyed myself. This is definitely a great movie if you know what you're walking into.
Yes.
If you know what you're walking into, yeah. Because I was going to give this movie a 7 because of the acting and the stupidity. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm going to give it 8 because...
You gotta think about.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 because overall,
the franchise. That's what it is.
overall, even at times that I was laughing because it was so stupid, I still enjoyed myself. This was a great Final Destination movie. If we're gonna put it in a bracket of movies, like if I was gonna say this was a great Saw movie,
Yes.
or this was a great
I would
this
say,
movie,
right? It's at.
this is a great
It's
Final
towards the
Destination
top,
movie.
man.
It's towards the top.
I guess I don't really remember the older ones as well.
Yeah.
We've seen clips. We kind
But
of got a
Final
little pressure.
Destination 1 was
Yeah,
set
that's the OG,
it set the standard of like, yo, what our audience is gonna expect.
Exactly,
Right?
and the first thing of anything is always going to be you're always going to have a soft spot, like
Yeah.
because that's the introduction to
Yeah, this is
that
up.
even
This
idea.
is top 3 Final
Yes,
Destination.
top
Out of
three.
6,
I
this is
absolutely
top
agree.
3.
Top
this
three.
is top 3.
Yeah.
However, whatever order you put it in, this is top 3.
It's at least top 3. Yeah,
This is top 3. So yeah, we'll go with that.
cool.
I liked it. I liked this
I
movie.
loved it.
And you know what else I like? When people like and subscribe
Yes,
to
you know
this
what?
channel. Like and subscribe,
Please.
dude. We always wait to the end to say this. We need to mix this in the beginning.
Yeah, we got to throw it in the
Yeah,
intro
dude.
a little bit
but
more.
just to remind you, if you liked the review, if you liked
All you have to
anything that
do
we
is
said,
scroll down, click a button. If you're on a smartphone,
yeah.
click.
And even if you didn't
boom,
agree
click,
with what
click.
we said, like, great.
If you
Put
at
it
least
in the
enjoy
comments.
watching, yeah, hey,
Put it
that'd
in
be
the
great
comments
too.
because I'd love to get in an argument.
He
Like,
loves arguing.
I can't wait until we have enough people
where they would actually
where I can argue with
boom,
people,
and then we go
so they
back
can
and
be
forth.
like, "Bro is just like crashing out."
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the
comment
crash
section.
out king. I'm gonna be the comment crash out king, dude. Like,
There we go.
Once we actually have like an audience where I can like crash out with them, yes, dude.
He's looking
I
forward
am
to it.
defending
Help him out.
things.
Make his dreams come true.
I'm
Come on.
defending bad takes to the end. So, well, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Cude,
I'm JC.
and this was fresh out of
Final Destination Bloodlines.
dude. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Watch out for the screws,
Oh!
dude. Watch out,
Oh!
dude.
He's trying to eat me.
Oh, that's dude, yo. Nose
Oh,
ring.
I didn't even think about that. That's so funny.
Nose ring,
Got him.
dude.
You guys will get it once you see it. You'll know what that
Yeah,
means.
just zoom in, dude. 4K. Stephanie. Oh,
No!
she has a stripper name, dude.
The NI, this is definitely a stripper
Oh
name.
my god, dude! Not even regular Stephanie. Not even Not even like Shakespearean Stephanie.
Oh, no. Definitely not. Shakespearean?
Dang.
Final Destination, bro. It's not going to be Shakespearean. I mean, Shakespearean in the death, I guess.
Oh man, dude.
The fact that you
Stephanie,
said
dude.
it. The fact
What
that
a
you called
terrible
that.
name. Nobody's
Like,
named
you're
Stephanie
saying, you're
anymore.
not saying with an NI.
How many
It's like,
Stephanies do you know?
I know a couple, but not any NI Stephanies.
With an F.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know PH. Yeah, you know PH.
Once it starts with the
Stephanies.
F, you already know you're going. You're F.
Oogie.
Okay, well.
Your parents.
How much do I owe
So
you?
unique. How much do I owe you, dude?
How much does it cost for us to hang
crazy,
out?
dude?